With portal moves winding down, Ohio State showing a quiet vote of confidence in the roster.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome, Buckeye fans, to your Tuesday edition of Locked On Buckeyes, which is your daily Ohio State podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, veteran sports talk host, delivering passionate coverage about your Buckeyes. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. During today's show, we'll discuss what players need to step up with Ohio State winding down their activity in the portal. But first, with Ohio State winding down their activity in the portal, it makes me wonder if Ohio State believes in every guy that's in the two deep at Ohio State. Yes, it's easy to say they believe in them, but also the reality is Ohio State went out there trying to pursue guys to add to the beef on the team, to add depth in the trenches because it's needed. And that's not just a this year thing. Any year, this would make sense for Ohio State to go out there and pursue multiple guys that are in the trenches to add depth to those positions. While they're winding down the activity in the portal, I still think there's a vote of confidence with the guys in the room that they can get the job done. Because if Ohio State decided at some point in time to pursue harder, or really in any offseason, to pursue harder and to go even harder than they already were, to try to get guys in the trenches to leave the portal to come play at Ohio State, that would make sense. But when you look up and down the roster, Ohio State made some really key and quality additions to guys that were in the portal, and Ethan Onionwa and Logan George and Phillip Daniels and Justin Terry and Bo Atkinson. Those are the guys that were in the trenches from the O-line to the D-lines at Ohio State. And that's what you want. If you can go out there at any given year, any offseason, no matter if you're bringing back a recent All-American or if you're losing multiple guys to the first round of the draft, you want to go out there and get a guy like a Onionwa or a Daniels or a Justin Terry because they make your team better. All three have different paths. All three are going to have different stories in the upcoming season. But all three make Ohio State better. Ethan Onionwa probably going to be the starting left tackle. Phillip Daniels is currently in a competition with Austin Servelt and Ian Moore for the starting right tackle spot. And then Justin Terry is not being brought in to start or to have a key role this year. He is that depth piece in every team out there, in every sport. These guys that are depth pieces. Think about it. A lot of people listening or watching this right now play high school football. And it's very clear that in high school football, there's a guy that is the guy that you kind of formulate your offense around. But also when you are the guy, you have to have the others that help you be the guy. Because if you're the guy, you don't have the others, you can't be the best you can be. Same thing. I steal that phrase from Shaquille O'Neal all the time. He was on NBA on TNT talking about, you need the others. And Shaq has 3 rings, has been to, 4 rings. I believe he's been to 5 NBA finals. And what is it? How did Shaq get to where he got? Well, he was gifted. I mean, his God-given ability is otherworldly, but also he knows about the importance of the others, a Robert Horry, a Derek Fisher, a Gary Payton with the Heat when he was not a key starter. He was one of the guys that was the others at the time. It was in the back end of his career. Robert Horry, Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, Shaq is credited numerous times for being one of those guys who was a part of the others. LeBron James, and think about other guys that have won NBA. Kobe Bryant was on lots of those Lakers teams with Shaq, on every Laker team with Shaq that won an NBA Finals, NBA championship. And what do you find? The others are key. That's what makes up Ohio State's roster. Now, you can say right now that Onionwa was not part of the others. He's a part of one of the guys. It's great. But no one has seen him play consistently in a Buckeye uniform. The only consistent thing he has done in a Buckeye uniform is practice. So you can't base him off of the Rice film. You have to go off of the things that are in the Ohio State film. And he is going to be huge. Ohio State being done in the portal, I don't think it's a sign of something that they have just pulled back from in totality. There are a lot of guys Ohio State was going after that have just decided to play football elsewhere. There are also guys like a Jackson Curville hope I pronounced that correctly, a kicker who transferred from Ball State, is a guy that's coming to Ohio State to do what? Compete with Jaden Fielding. A Jaden Fielding kicker that ended up going and having an injury a year ago, and he had to overcome that and deal with that last year. Not only did Jaden Fielding make a lot of Ohio State fans scratch their heads and wonder, man, how do you keep your job? Now there's a true competition where Corville, I'm still hoping I say his name correctly, made 26 of his 34 field goals in his 2-year stretch at Ball State. He was 11 of 13 on field goals last season. He was 2 for 2 on field goals of 50 yards or more, and he had a career long, that was a make, of course, of 52 yards. A career long gives a make. I don't know why I read that part there right in front of my screen. He also only missed 2 extra points, one in each season that he kicked for the Cardinals. Jaden Fielding needs competition. And not just Jaden Fielding, everybody does. If I'm James Peoples, if I am Julian Sand, if I am Jeremiah Smith, everybody in the moment needs competition because it makes you better. Now, sometimes the competition comes in from the portal. Sometimes it's guys that have been in your corner in locker room for the past couple of years. That all of a sudden, when the portal closes and seems like Ohio State's winding down their activity, what does that person do? They breathe a sigh of relief because they realize they ain't going nowhere. Not at all. Which is great, but you got to step up. And if I am Ryan Day right now, and it sure seems like the guys that Ohio State has been targeting are committing to play football elsewhere, you're also losing guys that were key guys in backup roles or on scout team, and Reese Stocksdale, who recently committed to Bowling Green with Eddie George. One guy we talked about recently on the show, Justin Kirkland, 6'3", 345-pound nose tackle. He has committed to play for the BYU Cougars, and he said, no place like home. You're a Utah kid. First school you played at was Utah Tech, so it surely made sense. And my first gut was, even if Ohio State pursued him, he was going to stay at a school in state, either Utah or BYU, and that's what he's doing. Ryan understands the game he's playing. He knows you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, especially at this time of the year when Ohio State not only has numerous recruiting tools nobody else has, Ohio State also got the game later than anybody else in the country because they just won the national championship. They played the last game on January 20th. Then all of a sudden, Ohio State's not only having to deal with playing the last game on January 20th, having guys have 5 extra days to decide if they want to go to the portal or not. But also, you have teams all around the country trying to poach Ohio State's players from their current home to another one because that's what you do. You don't want the rich to get richer. You want to take from their wealth. Not figuratively speaking, not literally speaking. But that's the same scenario. Ohio State being done with doing business in the portal. I get it. I would like for them to get more guys for the trenches, specifically quarterback. Not in the trenches, but I still think that room, those 3 players in the room, could benefit in a big way from Ohio State potentially bring a guy in. I don't believe Ohio State's linked to any guys that are quarterbacks right now, but it wouldn't shock me if Ryan Day's working behind closed doors and trying to keep this on a hush-hush to bring that person to Columbus, Ohio. Being done and wrapping up things in the portal, I get it. I also think Ohio State could go after a couple guys a little bit harder than they have, but that's where the cookie crumbles. You win some, you lose some. Ohio State won quite a bit. They also lost out on a lot of talent, which makes me think about the guys at Ohio State that need to step up right now because the portal activity for the Buckeyes is winding down, which leaves an open door for numerous Buckeyes to rise to the occasion. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. New to FanDuel? It's a perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Once again, if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to set up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Thank you all for tapping the Locked on Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. As Ohio State surely seems like they're winding down their activity in the portal, which I hope they don't do. I hope they go out there and they find a way to get one or two quality guys to add to the trenches and even a quarterback. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. But while it seems like Ohio State's winding down their activity in the portal, this is the perfect time for numerous Buckeyes to step up and rise to the occasion and show they're not just developing, they might be developing a lot faster than the coaches think they are. One of the ones that I think is going to step up in a big way this year is Ian Moore. Now, Austin Servelt is a guy who I project to be the starting, as of right now, I'll say right tackle, because I'm not really sure, at least right now, if Ian Moore has made that big of a jump. However, I know Phillip Daniels came in to start, the Minnesota transfer. There is a legitimate scenario where Ian Moore is the starting right tackle, Austin Servelt is the starting right guard. Because I think Servelt at guard is going to be huge for Ohio State. Now, the downside is Ian Moore is a second-year guy, would be getting his first start if that is the spot for him this year. Which, not going to lie to you, if I'm Texas, I am putting Colin Simmons over the least experienced Buckeye on the edge, either Onionwa or whoever's out there at right tackle, and let that man rock. Now, if it's Servelt, he's not inexperienced as a player. He's an experience at that position. And that's all you need if you're an opposing defensive coordinator to try to find a link or a weak moment in the armor to allow your guy to get loose. That's what you want to do. But I think Ian Moore is a guy, an absolute guy that can start this year. I may be a little biased as well, being a guy that used to live not far from the high school he played at during his high school football career in Indiana. I don't think I saw him play. I'm not sure. I've only seen that high school play, I know for sure once, maybe twice, and I'm unsure if I was at a game when he played. Speaking of all the guys that need to step up this year, Jason Moore, Tyrone Malone, not just one, but two. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at both of you. Jason Moore is a guy that Ohio State recruited, I believe, from Maryland. Tyrone Malone's a transfer from Ole Miss that we have been waiting and watching, and hopefully you ain't worrying when he's going to put it all together. Well, this is the time, sir. This is the time for this young man to put it all together so that when he's out on the field, it's not just Cade McDonald, Edric Houston, and then a massive drop-off like you're right in front of the biggest waterfall in your area. You drive, it's not the biggest in the world. It's a pretty steep fall for a waterfall. That's what you don't want to happen when you go from your starting defensive tackles to the backups. I know I mentioned recently OurLads.com is a place where you could go and get your projected depth charts. Now, these aren't official. These are projected for every school in the country. You're not going to find Tyrone Malone in the backup spot. I'm looking at it right now. I personally put Tyrone Malone as a backup defensive tackle, either at the nose or the 3-tech, and letting him ride there. Because you don't want – I have a little bit of a danger with the Will Smith Jr. and even Jason Moore being the two backup D tackles. What do you have? 2-3-year guys that have not put it all together, that could be putting it all together this year individually, but doing it in a unit, that could lead to disaster. But they got to step up. Absolutely have to. You can go up and down the list, up and down the portal to see guys that Ohio State was linked to that all of a sudden decided to play football elsewhere. And what does it leave Ohio State? Scratching their heads, wondering when everything's going to get fixed, wondering when they're going to get the things done that they need to get done. You're wondering so many things. These guys have to step up. But not just those guys. It's one of the weird times at Ohio State, at least over the past couple of years as I've been looking at it, that linebacker's fine. Even the two deep, and if you may have a Garrett Stover lined up alongside Peyton Pierce in the second unit for the linebacker. You can have Riley Pettijohn or TJ Alford as a backup, whatever the case may be. They're going to be just fine. Absolutely just fine. Secondary. Corner, you're good. Jermaine Matthews Jr., Davis Iguodala, Lorenzo Styles Jr. Let's go a little bit further. Devin Sanchez, Aaron Scott Jr., Bryce West. Let's go a little bit further. Deonta Griffin, redshirt junior. Jordan Woods, a true freshman. Miles Lockhart, a redshirt freshman. What are you going to find? You are fine at those positions. And so while I think you could benefit from another safety coming to Ohio State, I think at corner, you are fine. And it wouldn't shock me, speaking of safeties, it wouldn't shock me if Fahim Delane finds a way to get on the field consistently. Maybe in special teams, maybe at a different role at Ohio State. But I think he is a guy that can definitely get on the field consistently this year. But these guys got to step up. 100% have to step up. If you want to go back and look at the offensive line now, or just offense in general, James Heupel, C.J. Donaldson, enough said. Julian Sand, Liga Kinholtz, they're the two guys in the QB battle. The strength of this offense, one of the stronger units, is tight end with Max Clare, Will Kazmarek, Bennett Christian, and Jelani Thurman. And it seems like Jelani Thurman is closer and closer and closer to putting it all together. And if it happens this year, y'all might want to watch out. Not you specifically, you'll be rejoicing. But those of you that are not Ohio State fans, you might want to watch out because this man is ready to go off. Literally, if I wanted to go step by step and line by line about the roster and say, well, you got to step up and you got to step up and you got to step up. And, oh, yeah, you too. You own that list. That's not a knock against the team. It's just reiterating the reality that Ohio State lost a lot of guys to the draft. 14 guys, and I believe all 17 that were draft eligible ended up getting – I can't think of the word, ended up getting invited to a rookie minicamp. There you go. I don't know why it took so long to get that out, but it did. You can say every guy needs to step up, which is true because, as Ryan Day said so many times, especially during his interview with Josh Pate, the guys that are on the team now, a lot of them didn't play on last year's team, and they're taking ownership of the program and saying, take away those national championship banners, they're going to police themselves. So if someone needs to step up and he's not, who's going to police them? The players. If someone is throwing up causing a lot of issues and wreaking havoc, what's going to happen? The players police that. There's a lot of good stuff going on. While there are numerous players that need to step up, there are also those players that will police what is going on at the Ohio State University. While the players are policing the activity of other players, this opportunity for the assistant coaches with the portal winding down continues to get bigger. This episode is brought to you by Upwork. Scaling business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more. Experts ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. If you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who delivered incredible results. Instead of hiring full-time, Upwork helps find affordable, top-tier freelancers to scale my business efficiently. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com, to connect with top talent and grow your business today. Thank y'all for tapping the Locked On Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. We can go on and on and on talking about the players and the opportunity that's in front of them with Ohio State winding down the portal activity, or talking about players that need to step up in various capacities. We could talk about that for days. We're not going to. While I was thinking about players that have this massive opportunity in front of them, it made me think about the coaches and primarily the 10 assistant coaches and the major task right in front of them. Because if they get this right, if all 10 assistant coaches tackle this like their job depends on it, what are you going to find? Ohio State's going to be a really, 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 really good football team. They're going to have a legitimate shot to run it back in 2025. Yeah, I know some people may be saying, man, that's cute. You keep talking about running it back, running it back, running it back. That ain't happened in Ohio State's history. You're correct. Good job, you, Story. I'm going to give you a clap it up, too. I'll clap it up for you. I don't want to be a guy that doesn't acknowledge your smarts and how bright you are. No, I'm not going to do that. Yes, you want to win a national championship. That's what you want to do every year. But while you do that, you must make sure you keep the main thing the main thing. Yeah, the goal is the main thing, but also the main thing is making sure you develop guys to make that main thing the main thing. Patricia, Hartline, Coach Key, Tim Walton, Matt Guerrero, the list goes on and on and on. They must tackle this like their life depends on it. I'm not saying they're going to get fired, but if you tackle it like your life depends on it, what are you going to find? You're going to do better work than you thought you could because you're putting every part of your being inside of your work. I am confident in these coaches, but also a little nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. I know it's a Tuesday. It's early in the week. Ain't no feel good Friday. Sometimes we don't feel good on a Friday. I know Sharon Moore right now on a Tuesday ain't feeling good as he has been a self-imposed suspension by Michigan because of the whole Connor Stallion sign stealing. Can't say scandal because it actually happened. Because Connor Stallion illegally stole signs. So while that happened, Sharon Moore is dealing with some issues and dealing with some suspensions. Game number 3, game number 4, instead of making it the first 2 games. No, you're going to coach against your alma mater in Oklahoma, and I forget who the week 1 game is against, but week 3 and week 4, I believe you're playing Western Michigan, and then there's another school on this list that is a school that he is not going to coach against. That's not good, man. That's not good at all. Sharon Moore, that is trying to make sure he is doing everything correctly so that when he is gone, the coaches can pick up the slack during his absence. Well, Ohio State's coaches are already doing great things. Ohio State's coaches aren't really worried about trying to dodge a self-imposed suspension because of some illegal thing that is happening that most schools don't have to deal with. All Ohio State's coaches have to focus on, unlike Sharon Moore, has to focus on, well, I got the suspension coming up. It could be worse by the NCAA. Schools are going to try to get my back. All these guys going to worry about is coaching. Day in and day out. Day in and day out. All they got to do is coach. And I do think these coaches are up for the task. I firmly believe that. I'm not going to be someone that's trying to be a homer. No, I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe that these coaches are ready. But also think about this. These coaches know these players better than anybody else in the country because they've been here. They've been working. They've been grinding. So while Ohio State should have possibly gone out there and got more guys on the O-line or got more guys on the D-line or targeted other position players as well that were in the portal, whatever the case may be, that's true. What's also true is this is why they're here. Hartline knows his job is not going to be the easiest in the world. Patricia knows that when you have the lofty price tag that is attached to his name right now, that your job is going to be very, very difficult. So while his job is going to be very, very difficult, what can he do? Get to know the players better. Help them with understanding the opportunity right in front of them to be great or to be better or to have a chance to consistently play a whole lot sooner. Why? Because you're taking advantage of the opportunity right here in front of you. And Ryan Day has made some really good hires. I mean, really, 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 really good hires. Patricia one continues to be one that amazes me. You get a guy that you didn't really coach up against very much in the NFL, but you have mad respect for him in the multiple Super Bowl championships that he won. Bring him to Columbus, trying to fix some stuff on his side of the ball. Doesn't really go the way you thought it was going to go. You hoped it was going to go. What does that mean? Well, it's time to keep working. It's time to keep pursuing. They're ready for the task. They're ready for what's coming up next. And I can't wait to see what Ohio State does as they tackle this opportunity. And one thing that pops to my head, so say this as we close up shop, is that Ohio State's not leaning on last year's accomplishments right down the offseason. They are focused on the task at hand, preparing to run it back, and blocking out all the noise. I know that it would be very, very easy for these coaches to mail it in. Hey, man, the task is too big. The lights are too bright. I just can't handle it. It would be very, very easy. I don't have a feeling that's going to happen. Because these coaches know they do their job right, they get more money. They do their job right, they get a contract extension. They do their job right, it's adding the right pieces to their resume to make it a better option for them down the road whenever they decide to leave Columbus, Ohio. It's a big opportunity for the coaches, a really, really big opportunity for the coaches. And I can't wait to see how they tackle the rest of the offseason, knowing that they're probably not bringing in more guys from the portal. They're going to work with what they got. Thank y'all for tapping on Locked on Buckeyes and making this show your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Portal Show. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow me on any social media platform at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. It says on Locked on Buckeyes right here on a Tuesday. We'll see you next time.